is Mrs. Fryman's class performing Lizard's Song. Lizard lived in the mountains of the West. He liked it there, and he lived on a big flat rock. He was so happy living there that he often made up songs. They were not fancy songs, but they were his, and almost every day he would dance about on his rock singing a song. One day, Bear heard him singing, and Bear was the kind who, when he saw something he liked, he took it. Bear liked Lizard's song, and he wanted it, so he ran up to Lizard's rock and said, "Teach me that song! I want it!" Lizard was glad to share his song. "Sit down," he said, "and I will sing it over and over until you know it." He had to sing it 10 times before Bear learned it. "I know it now," said Bear, and off he went singing and dancing. He was so busy singing that he didn't see the pond. Quack, 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 quack! The ducks on the pond heard Bear and flew right past his nose. Bear was so startled that he forgot the song. He ran back to Lizard's rock. "Lizard, teach me that song again. I forgot!" Lizard sang the song over and over again, and after the 12th time, Bear said, "I know it," and off he went. Bear was very proud of his song. He went around singing and dancing across the land. When swish! A rabbit jumped out of its hole and ran right past Bear. Bear chased after it, but the rabbit was faster. The rabbit got away, and so did the song. Bear could not remember a single note, not even "so." He started back to Lizard's rock. "Lizard," said Bear, "teach me that song." Bear asked time and time again, but Lizard was asleep, so he didn't hear a word. Bear did not know what to do. He thought, and then quickly scooped Lizard up into a sack. He would take Lizard home with him. That's what he'd do. He had Lizard in the sack, but it was a quiet trip home. No songs to sing or dances to do. As he walked along, the sack swung about, and Lizard woke up. No sun, no moon. All he could see was dark, and Lizard was scared. He quietly began to sing his song. Bear heard him. He stopped and dropped the sack. "Lizard, teach me your song. I want it." "Bear," said Lizard as he crawled out of the sack, "my song is about rocks. My song is about me." "What about you, Bear? What is your home?" "Den," answered Bear. "Den is my home." So Lizard thought and smiled, and then he began to sing. Bear listened twice, and then he began to sing too. They sang and danced all the way home, Lizard to his rock and Bear to his death.
Pete the cat was walking down the street in his brand new white shoes. Pete loved his white shoes so much, he sang this song. Stepped in a large pile of strawberries. What color did it turn his shoes? Red. Did Pete cry?
Goodness, no!
He kept walking along and singing his song.
This is Mrs. Schenck's class performing Here Come the Aliens. A fleet of spaceships heads this way. They're 50 zillion miles away, but getting closer every day. The aliens are coming. They're zooming in from outer space to conquer us, the human race. We'll soon be standing face to face. The aliens are coming. The admiral's a fearsome sight, a simple creature, not too bright. All he wants to do is fight. The aliens are coming. The first mate looks like wobbly jelly. He's short of gaseous and smelly, and he has an eyeball in his belly. The aliens are coming. These beings come in different sizes. This one's doing exercises. Get ready, Earth, for some surprises. The aliens are coming. Some have one head, some have two. There's even one with none. It's true. What on earth are we to do? The aliens are coming. People far and wide, all across the countryside, they come from planets all some quite bizarre. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, the aliens are coming. I really hate to make a fuss. Perhaps you thought they'd look like us, but most of them appear thus. The aliens are coming. This one squeaks and this one squawks. Some have eyeballs stuck on stalks. This one squelches when it walks. The aliens are coming. See the aliens at lunch. Slobber, dribble, gobble, munch. Table manners, not this bunch. The aliens are coming. Some are bald and some are hairy. Some are round and some are squarey. Some look friendly, but beware, the aliens are coming. They boldly bend where we've not been. They're blue and purple, sickly green. At home, this one's a beauty queen. The aliens are coming. None speak English, French, or Greek. They sort of grunt and burp and squeak. The chance of peace talks, I'd say bleak. The aliens are coming. Some have teeth and some are gummy. Some are smart and some are dummy. Some have, help, I want my money. The aliens are coming. Some are tall and some are squat. Some are cool and some are hot. Some are nice, but most are not. The aliens are coming. At last, the Earth comes into view. The Admiral knows what to do. He orders battle stations, crew. The aliens are coming. But approaching planet Earth, they see, though how it got there, don't ask me. A piece of paper floating free. The aliens are slowing. It swiftly passed around the fleet. 1,000 hearts stop. Miss a beat. The order goes out. Fleet, retreat! The aliens are going? For this is what the aliens saw. A picture of your class, grade 4. It scared them off. Away they roar. The aliens are going. Yes, all the aliens agree. Of life in every galaxy, the ugliest is you and me. The aliens have gone. The most, the aliens have gone.
Tell the people far and wide, all across the countryside. Tell them quickly get outside. Aliens have gone.
This is Mrs. Maloney's and Mrs. Caudill's class performing The House That Jack Built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cat that chased the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the dog that worried the cat that chased the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cow that tossed the dog that worried the cat that chased the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the maid all forlorn that milked the cow that tossed the dog that worried the cat that chased the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the man all tattered and torn that kissed the maid all forlorn that milked the cow that tossed the dog that worried the cat that chased the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the priest preacher
Amen, amen.
that married the man all tattered and torn,
Tattered and torn, tattered and torn.
to the maid all forlorn,
Kiss, kiss, ha, ha,
that milked the cow,
ha. Moo, moo.
that tossed the dog,
Woof, woof.
that worried the cat,
Meow, meow.
that chased the rat,
Eek a rat.
that ate the malt,
Yum, yum.
that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rooster that crowed in the morn,
Cock-a-doodle-doodly-doo.
that woke the preacher,
Amen, amen.
that married the man all tattered and torn,
Tattered and torn, tattered and torn.
to the maid all forlorn,
Kiss, kiss, ha, ha,
that milked the cow,
ha. Moo, moo.
that tossed the dog,
Woof, woof, woof.
that worried the cat,
Meow, meow.
that chased the rat,
Eek a rat.
that ate the malt,
Yum, yum.
that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the farmer sowing his corn, that owned the rooster that crowed in the morn,
Cock-a-doodle-doodly-doo.
that woke the preacher,
Amen, amen.
that married the man all tattered and torn,
Tattered and torn, tattered and torn.
to the maid all forlorn,
Kiss, kiss, ha, ha,
that milked the cow,
ha. Moo, moo.
that tossed the dog,
Woof, woof, woof.
that worried the cat,
Meow, meow.
that chased the rat,
Eek a rat.
that ate the malt,
Yum, yum.
that lay in the house that Jack built.
This is Mrs. Brunswick's class performing Chicken Little. One fine morning, Chicken Little went out to the woods. As she walked along, an acorn fell on her head. Chicken Little was a silly little chicken, and she often made silly mistakes. Chicken Little thought the acorn was part of the sky. She was so caught up by surprise that she worked herself into a tizzy. "Oh dear me," she cried, "the sky is falling. I must go and tell the king." On her way to see the king, Chicken Little met Henny Penny. "Henny Penny, the sky is falling," cried Chicken Little. "How do you know?" asked Henny Penny. "A piece of it fell and hit me on the head." "Then let us go tell the king," said Henny Penny, who was now quite worried as well. So, Henny Penny and Chicken Little ran along until they met Goosey Lucy. "Goosey Lucy, the sky is falling," cried Chicken Little. "How do you know?" asked Goosey Lucy. "A piece of it fell and hit me on the head." Goosey Lucy looked at Henny Penny, who nodded in agreement. "Then let us go tell the king," said Goosey Lucy, who could not help but believe her friends. So, Goosey Lucy, Henny Penny, and Chicken Little all went along until they met Ducky Lucky. "Ducky Lucky, the sky is falling," cried Chicken Little. "How do you know?" asked Ducky Lucky. "A piece of it fell and hit me on the head." Henny Penny and Goosey Lucy stood nodding their heads wide-eyed next to Chicken Little. Ducky Lucky looked at her three friends and became worried because they were so worried. "Then let us go tell the king," said Ducky Lucky. So, Ducky Lucky, Goosey Lucy, Henny Penny, and Chicken Little ran along until they met Turkey Lurkey, who was certainly the biggest of the birds. "Turkey Lurkey, the sky is falling," cried Chicken Little. "How do you know?" asked Turkey Lurkey. "A piece of it fell and hit me on the head." "Then let us go tell the king," said Turkey Lurkey, for who was he to disagree with four scared friends? So the five feathered friends ran along until they met Foxy Loxy. cried Chicken Little. "Oh, is that so?" said sly Foxy Loxy, who knew better but pretended to believe the 5 trembling birds. "If the sky is falling, you'd better go keep safe in my den, and I will go tell the king for you." So, Chicken Little, Henny Penny, Goosey Lucy, Ducky Lucky, and Turkey Lurkey followed Foxy Loxy into his den. The dust in the den made Chicken Little sneeze. Achoo! The force of the sneeze made Chicken Little come back to her senses. "Wait!" cried Chicken Little. "Birds are supposed to stay away from foxes." Henny Penny, Goosey Lucy, Ducky Lucky, and Turkey Lurkey all looked at each other in amazement. "You're right," they cried. And so the 5 feathered friends ran out of the cave and never went back there again. And from that day, they carefully thought before believing that the sky was falling ever again. This is Mrs. Taylor's class performing Mortimer. One night, Mortimer's mother took him upstairs to go to bed. When they got upstairs, Mortimer's mother opened the door to his room. She threw him into bed and said, "Mortimer, be quiet." Mortimer shook his head, yes. The mother shut the door, then she went back down the stairs. As soon as she got back downstairs, Mortimer sang, "Swing, swing, crouching swing, never can go down day. Swing, swing, crouching swing, never can go all day." Mortimer's father heard all that noise and he came up the stairs. He opened the door and yelled, "Mortimer, be quiet!" Mortimer shook his head, yes. The father went back down the stairs. As soon as he got to the bottom of the stairs, Mortimer sang, All of Mortimer's 17 brothers and sisters heard that noise, and they all came up the stairs. They opened the door and yelled in a tremendous loud voice, "Mortimer, be quiet!" Mortimer shook his head, yes. The brothers and sisters shut the door and went downstairs. As soon as they got to the bottom of the stairs, Mortimer sang, "Swing, swing, crouching swing, never can go down day. Swing, swing, crouching swing, never can go down day." They got so upset that they called the police. 2 policemen came in and they walked very slowly up the stairs. They opened the door and said in very deep policeman-like voices, "Mortimer, be quiet." The policeman shut the door and went back down the stairs. As soon as they got to the bottom of the stairs, Mortimer sang, Well, downstairs, no one knew what to do. The mother got into a big fight with the policeman. The father got in a big fight with all the brothers and sisters. And upstairs, Mortimer got so tired of waiting for someone to come up that he fell asleep.
This is Mrs. Lawson's class performing Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move too. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be carsick. But no one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of an invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. But who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone and lands in... There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunchbox, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of Jelly Roll that had the little coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity in just me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm moving to. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
I told everyone, but no one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red one with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was so careful, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I accidentally called. My dad said, please don't pick him up anymore. It was a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot, I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas, and I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow that he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a
Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
My mom says some days are like that, even in This is Mrs. Gambrell's class performing Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock. Once upon a time, Anansi the spider went walking, 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 when something in the forest caught his eye. It was a strange moss-covered rock. How interesting, Anansi said. Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock? Kaboom! Everything went black. Down fell Anansi, senseless. An hour later, Anansi woke up and his head was spinning. He wondered what had happened. Well, I was walking along the path when something caught my eye. I stopped and I said, "Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Kaboom! Down fell Anansi again. But this time, when he woke up an hour later, he knew what was happening. "Aha," said Anansi, "this is a magic rock. And whenever anyone comes along and says the magic words, 'Isn't this a strange down he goes.' This is a good thing to know," said Anansi, "and I know just how to use it." So Anansi went walking, walking, walking through the forest until he came to Lion's house. Lion was sitting on his porch, and at his feet was a great pile of yams. Anansi loved yams, but he was too lazy to dig them up himself. Anansi said to Lion, "Hello, Lion, it is very hot today. Don't you think so?" "Yes, Anansi," said Lion, "it is terribly hot." "I'm going for a walk in the cool forest," said Anansi. "Would you like to come?" "I certainly would," said Lion. So Lion and Anansi went walking, walking, walking through the forest. After a while, Anansi led Lion to a certain place. "Lion, do you see what I see?" "Oh yes, Anansi," said Lion. "Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Kaboom! Down fell Lion. Anansi ran back to Lion's house and made off with Lion's yams. An hour later, Lion woke up and his head was spinning. Anansi was nowhere in sight, and when he got home, he found that every single one of his yams was gone, and Lion was sad. But Anansi was very happy. He couldn't wait to play his trick again. Once more, Anansi went walking, walking, walking through the forest. This time, he stopped at Elephant's house. Elephant was sitting on his porch, and at his feet was a great pile of bananas. Anansi loved bananas, but he was too lazy to pick them for himself. So he said to Elephant, "Hello, Elephant, isn't it so hot today?" "It is," Elephant agreed. "I'm going for a walk in the cool forest," Anansi said. "Would you like to come?" "That sounds nice," said Elephant. "Thank you for inviting me, Anansi." So Anansi and Elephant went walking, walking, walking through the forest. After a while, Anansi led Elephant to a certain place. "Elephant, look, do you see what I see?" Elephant looked. "Yes, I do, Anansi. Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Kaboom! Down fell Elephant. Anansi ran back to Elephant's house and made off with all the bananas. An hour later, an elephant woke up and his head was spinning. Anansi was nowhere in sight. And when he got home, he found that every single one of his bananas was gone, and Elephant was sad. But Anansi was very happy. He couldn't wait to play his trick again. He played it on rhinoceros and hippopotamus. He played it on giraffe and zebra. He played it on every single animal in the forest. But all this time, watching from behind the leaves, was Little Bush Deer. Little Bush Deer was small and shy and very hard to see. She watched Anansi play his wicked trick again and again on all the other animals, and Little Bush Deer decided it was time for Anansi to learn a lesson. So Little Bush Deer went deep into the forest where the coconut trees grow. She climbed a coconut tree and threw down a great many coconuts. She carried the coconuts home in a basket and set them on her porch, then sat down beside them to wait. In a little while, along came Anansi. Anansi's eyes lit up when he saw Little Bush Deer's coconuts. Anansi loved coconuts. He loved to eat the tender white coconut meat and drink the sweet coconut milk inside, but he was much too lazy to gather coconuts himself. Instead, he said, "Hello, Little Bush Deer. It is so hot today." Little Bush Deer smiled. "It is very hot, Anansi. I'm going for a walk in the cool forest. Would you like to come?" "Yes, I would," said Little Bush Deer. So Anansi and Little Bush Deer went walking, walking, walking through the cool forest. After a while, Anansi led Little Bush Deer to a certain place. "Little Bush Deer, look over there. Do you see what I see?" Little Bush Deer knew all about Anansi's trick. She looked. "No, Anansi, I don't see anything." "You must see it. Look very carefully." Little Bush Deer looked. "No, I still don't see anything," she said. Anansi began to get angry. "You must see it. Look over here. Look right where I'm pointing. Do you see it now?" "No, Anansi," said Little Bush Deer. Anansi stamped his legs. "You see it? You just don't want to say it." "Say what?" said Little Bush Deer. "You know." "Is that what I'm supposed to say?" "Yes," said Anansi. "All right, then I'll say it to make you happy." "You know," said Little Bush Deer. "There, I said it. Are you happy now?" "No," Anansi shouted. "You're not supposed to say, 'you know.'" "Well, what am I supposed to say?" "You're supposed to say, 'Isn't this a strange moss covered rock?' Kaboom!" Down fell Anansi. Little Bush Deer ran and got all the other animals. Together, they went to Anansi's house and took back all the good things he'd stolen from them. An hour later, Anansi woke up and his head was spinning. Little Bush Deer was nowhere in sight. And when he got home, he found his house was just as empty as it was before. But if you think Anansi learned his lesson, you're mistaken, because he's still playing his tricks to this very day. This is Mr. Robinson's class performing Old Black Fly. He ate the crust of the apple pie. He bothered the baby and made her cry. He of the cookies of the chocolate bits. He drove the dog nearly out of its wits. He frolicked on the eggs for the birthday cake. He licked up the frosting for goodness sake. He danced on the edge of the garbage sack. He got sweet potty on his dirty back. He hid in the ivy by the kitchen sink. He stole some jelly as quick as a wink. He played on the keys by the kitchen door. He lit on the list for the grocery store. He lapped up the milk in Corgetty's bowl. He nibbled on the noodles in the casserole. He crawled in the spills from the olive can. He pestered the parrot on her stand. He snoozed on the quilt on Grandma's bed. He rode the red ribbon on her head. He snipped the salami that sister sliced. He ran around her teacup once or twice. He slept on the stack of clean underwear. He played on the vase by the velvet chair. He dozed on the window in the summer heat. He made a little X with the front of his feet. He buzzed about the yarn in Mama's lap. He landed on her table. Flap, flip, flap.